What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today here's the reason as to why we have not been posting a lot recently. We've been doing a lot in the woods right now with a lot of like work and stuff with clearing stuff out and getting stuff ready for the RC cars because there's so much brush up right now, and we only have like a few hill climbs that are cleared off, and we figure we can't just keep hitting the same exact hill climbs over and over and over again. We need to clear more stuff out so we have more space to mess around with the RC cars. So I want to start here to show that I did take a mower down this trail a few months ago during a dry spell, and you know, it kind of kept it down, and I raised the deck all the way up, so it's already cut a little bit higher. But this grass has actually managed to stay down a little bit, going to the trail straight back to the mud pit. So today's video, I'll just be walking you guys through all the work that we've done. I'm not using this as an excuse as to why we haven't been posting a lot, but this is pretty much the reason. I mean, I'd say so, right, Max? I mean,
yeah, we've been pretty busy with this.
We've been extremely busy doing this right now. So when it comes to the fall, it's gonna be a lot easier because this brush is gonna be down. It's just with the summer, there's a lot of mowing and maintaining stuff, and it's just more difficult like that. This is gonna need cut back. I like to specify before we get into this, there is some stuff that will need to be cleared still. There's always gonna be work, okay? But right now we have it to a point to where we're able to now film videos in it and get more done, and we have more stuff cleared out. Now this is an idea I'm very excited to show because I've had this idea since 2020. So I've had this idea for 3 years now. I've been planning to do something like this for 3 years, and it's finally like come together and we're able to do it. So up. We're not gonna show this yet. So walking down here, guys, so we're gonna walk straight forward. We cleared this out a little bit. Right there is a hill climb. We're not gonna show that yet, actually.
Okay, blur that.
So walking down, see, there's always stuff that's gonna need to be done. Now, we had a microburst that hit our woods, and it destroyed everything. I mean, everything in the woods was completely just destroyed. I mean, trees falling everywhere, so like there was like nothing. Grown up brush everywhere in the summer, falling down trees. I mean, there was like nothing we could do back here. So we had to clear stuff left and right. As you guys can see, this is a game trail. The deer walk down this, and we started this type of work down at Private Isle and down here. We started all of this back in April. We kind of took a little bit of a break because I was busy, and we got back into it here in July. And I mean, guys, all together, would you say, Max, like what? We put 30 hours into this all together?
Probably somewhere around there.
I mean, we worked a lot of days that were like 3-4 hours and stuff. So I would say all together around 30 hours, maybe a little bit more, give or take. So walking down the game trail here, this used to stop and cut off right here. So this used to be only this wide. We tripled the width of this by cutting this out with a shovel. Dead serious, you can tell this was cut by a shovel. So this was done all in April. We cut all this down. We threw the dirt down here. We come down here a little bit. We had a tree that we had to get cut, and our neighbor came up here and cut it down through his chain. We tossed the tree over there for the meantime. I came down with a pole saw, cut it a little bit lower, but this is still in the way. Like, the nice thing about this is the quads can come down this trail. As you can see, Max, it's wide. Come down here. Now this is courtesy of me and Max, okay? I kind of thought, because we had all this excess dirt, right? And it was such good dirt. We had all this excess dirt, guys, and we were like, what do we do? Well, let's make the trail come down and out this way and come up through here, because this was a part of the game trail. So we kind of like leveled this out, and like this is really formed to the ground. Like, this used to be a ditch here, and that's a lot more annoying than you think. So this will prevent people from like rolling their ankles and whatnot. He actually sprained his ankle while we were doing this crap too.
Yeah.
So coming up through here,
I barely walked for a couple days.
There's a walkway here, and this is again part of a game trail, and we leveled it out with excess dirt because we had so much dirt. A lot of the dirt just got thrown off to the hillside over here.
Yeah, now that's also kind of like formed.
It's just kind of formed to the ground now, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks really unnatural.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unlike the stuff that we did.
Right, yeah, I mean, this looks really good. I'm actually very happy with that. I was pointing that out the other day, how happy I was with that. But walking through here, this is Private Isle, guys. We've been keeping this maintained over here. There's this like bamboo looking stuff, and you gotta get on top of this stuff the minute the season begins. You have to get on top of this stuff. This stuff gets so out of control. And if I wanna find an example, the base on these, they get like 3 times the sizes. So weed whacker string can't cut through it. As you can see, I mean, this crap, it's weak, but for weed whacker string, I mean, it just pulls right out of the ground. So we've been maintaining this and keeping this down. That's kind of a compost pile that we have going right there. And over here, I noticed there was a wet spot, which now, of course, it's dried up. Me and Max dug this out to make a mud bog down in here because we noticed there was a wet spot. So we were like, okay, well, let's dig this out and make a mud bog. Then we started mixing sand with it, and now it's kind of like dried out. So I'm hoping maybe in the winter months, this might start to fill back up again. Over here, I want to have some hill climbs over here. So this is still stuff we have to work on. We've just been so busy with like everything else. So here's some excess dirt. That doesn't really matter. Private isle, it needs weed whacked a little bit more. But I'm happy, okay? I'm very happy with this crap. Like, this is so much work. So coming through here, this entire hill was actually like we redid the landscaping of this entire place practically. So what we did was we carved out this hill a little bit more. So it was more or less of a straight up jump, so we could jump it. So we carved this out flat here, carved it out here. It dipped in a little bit. The hill like dipped in right here, and there was like a low spot here. And we wanted to have it all going up as like a jump, you know, so we could do backflips and whatnot. Well, so I took some sand, formed it. Now that sand is starting to dry out, and after rain, it's starting to slope down, but I had it perfect, literally. And as you walk through here, you can tell all of this, you actually really can't tell. We literally, this used to be a ditch going down, because the one time I hit it with the rock ray, I came down here, and this used to ditch in. I don't know if you remember that, Max, but this used to ditch in here. And I used to hit it with the rock ray, and this was off camera. Came down, accidentally hit it with the rock ray, went up straight into the creek. So we're trying to prevent that from me flying down in here. Of course that can still happen, but we literally took dirt. I can't remember the exact spots, but we leveled this all out. Like, this was an entire day of work.
You can kind of tell the spots that we did, like for example, like right here.
Right there,
like
it was a ditch.
Probably.
So it kind of like ditched out here, and we leveled that all out. So weed whacking was done. Again, just weed whacking, which that isn't even the hard stuff. I mean, this needs weed whacked again. We were just up here this week, and it's growing back up again because it's a woods. So watch out for that. So this was all weed whacked. We still got to do some weed whacking within private isle a little bit, but again, we were so busy this week, we just ran through with the weed whackers. So coming up here, I like to specify no landscaping or anything was done on this. This is just natural. So as you can see, straight over here is the hill we have coming down. It'll come straight across over here. And again, guys, just so much work. All this is weed whacked down. This is actually starting to die. Okay, the grass here is starting to die. As you can see, we made a trail going up in there. I'll get into it. We have a decent sized trail system in here going, because this is like a little patch. This is the patch in between here and the mud pit's on the other side of this. And it's just like a patch of woods there. So, which obviously we're in a woods, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. The mowed down spot in the mud pit, there's a patch of woods in between. So this crop back here is all starting to die. As you can see, me and Colton tried going at the little bamboo forest we have here. We took brush cutters. It's making more of a mess cutting it down, you know?
Yeah, but when it decomposes, it'll be nice.
I understand, but even when it decomposes, like, that's another thing, guys. So another thing I like to specify, over down there, but Max put like so much time into raking where the other bamboo stuff is, where we first started out down by the mud bog area that we cleared out. All this stuff, this bamboo stuff, when it dies, here's another thing, when it dies and it grows up, this stays here all winter. And I understand this is weak, but you pile up all this crap, it gets in the way. So anyhow, walking down this way, I mowed all this down, and we've been keeping up with this since the beginning of the season. That's a pending project, that forest. I know Max seems to be on board with cutting it down. Colton is too. What they don't understand is it doesn't decompose really that great. It just
give it a
dies.
couple years.
It just dies and lays there. I mean, then you have to like keep up with it, but it's just ridiculous. I mean, look at it. It's like, what would you say? That's like 8 foot tall?
Taller than that.
10 feet, yeah, probably 10 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 10 feet, yeah. Man, so coming out here.
Like the short crap there isn't as tall as me.
If I overestimated, the viewers would be like, you're just being ridiculous.
The short crap there is taller than me.
So, walking through this, I mowed down a trail. We walked this down out to the creek, just a little spot to look out at the creek. That could snip some of those branches, but yeah, this is just a spot to look out at the creek. And you can see this, none of this is us. This is from the microburst, just So much crap got tossed into the creek from the microburst, so many trees falling, and all just kind of like built up a dam right here. Walking out this way, this is the trail. Now guys, I'm gonna take you on to our massive trail system we have built. So where do you want to start to show this? I think we should start back there, because it's just gonna be easier if we walk along the mud pit, right?
Yeah.
So I noticed that a deer trail came up through here and went down that way. And I was like, okay, let's run with it, because typically the deer already have a trail going. Let's just run with it. So we come through here. This was a deer trail until eventually the deer trail kind of just ended and I started doing my own thing. All right, so walking down here, guys, we have an access to the mud pit down there. That's just one of the access points. I actually took my bike up this spot back in like 2021, I believe it was. And again, more trees are starting to fall. Walking down this way, this was the access point we showed you guys. One of the access points earlier to the trail. You can honestly just walk out at max and just show real quick.
We got a giant hole right here. Knows what goes in there. There's also that one too. Yeah, but yeah, this is just the trail that comes from there.
Beautiful.
There's also some jaggers in there. It's really
yeah,
annoying.
that still needs to get worked on. So pushing forward here, guys, there's so much crap to cut out. Another access point to the mud pit. That was actually a deer trail, so that was an access point. Walking down here, we have all this crap that we weed whacked. It needs to get weed whacked a little bit lower, but this was just to get a base trail. It started getting difficult weed whacking through here, and this will spill out into the Dream Hill. So straight across will be the Dream Hill, but for right now, we'll show you that later. So this is just a little hill, you can show this, just going down to the Dream Hill area. Walking over here, be careful because poison ivy. We have another trail that could use a little bit more maintenance, widened out. It walks down this way, and this is new. I swear to God, guys, we did not leave it like that. This just kind of snapped. Yeah, so just be careful.
There we go, out of the way.
There we go. See, that's how we take care of stuff. Walking down here, going straight forward. Now this is the end of the spot that we had weed whacked. So it comes up and here's a deer trail. So that's why it looks like that coming up through here. So we'll come down here. Now we are walking along the creek. So this is the creek here. As you can see, we're tossing brush up off to the side. This thing here is gonna need to be taken care of. We're gonna have to take care of that. Walking down this way. We have another access point, because I just like having, just so you can see exactly where you're at. This is another access point. The deep spot is right over there to the left. Creek looks beautiful today. Look at it sparkling. Yeah, off to the left, there's the deep spot. Here's where the water gets a little bit rough. Don't stay at the way ledge, because this like kind of like cliffs off a lot, and these cliffs tend to like just give out a lot, so.
Yeah, trying to stay away from the edge, but show it, you know.
Walking this way, we're at the corner of Dream Hill, that little section of the ravine. This will need to get taken care of. Keep walking this way. Now when I was weed whacking, I'm like, okay, I knew where I wanted to meet up with, because I wanted to meet along the trail system that goes across the entire mud pit and Dream Hill area. Because there's a trail coming all the way, you know, along that. And I was like, okay, those like a spot that we can just meet up with it. So when I came to here, you gotta remember, guys, this was all brush that was up to here on me. So I come to here, I can't see anywhere around me. So I'm like, Colton's behind me with the weed whacker, I'm weed whacking. So I go forward, and I'm like, that's undoable with all the bushes. I'm like, that's gonna be too hard. So I came around this way and tried to find the spot that I wanted to go to. So I came this way, and this is along the Dream Hill area here. The terrain's a little bit iffy here, so this would be great for a quad, but...
Yeah, good enough for RC cars, though.
Oh yeah, great for RC cars. I mean, this would be a nice hill climb here for an RC car. Coming up here, it's a little bit steep, as you can see. So I came out, it's a perfect spot that I wanted to. Now right here, guys, we did some weed whacking. Now we're back on the trail that connects going along the mud pit. We'll walk back up it. But I weed whacked down there. I weed whacked all along this trail because, again, I mean, the brush is just growing up too much. So walking this way, we're coming up to the spot where the Dream Hill dumps off to. The Dream Hill dumps off right up here. This thing scares me, okay? Here, show it. It's just a tree, not even in the ground, just leaning on another tree. And that's like dying, so I can like snap.
Yeah.
So there's a dream hill right there, but we're not going to show that at the minute. That's just the spot for it. We keep walking this way. This is going to need to get taken care of.
Yeah, that won't be too hard though.
No.
Just gotta reach up and snip.
So we did some weed whacking through this area too, because we want to clear off the top of the mud pit, and it looks absolutely amazing. It's the little things that count. So we're gonna keep walking back along, guys. As you can see now, this is where we started. We started along this trail. We came on out. We're gonna keep walking down this way. Me and Colton, we weed whack this out too. This is the quad trail. So we're along the quad trail here. Walking straight forward. Now we're gonna empty off into the mud pit. We're gonna go back down the hill. I'm gonna show you guys the mud pit. So this is the trail that I was talking to you guys about that we widened out. My quad can make it down this. I tried coming up it when it was really wet and I had some problems. It's all on camera. I'll be posting that. We've just been, again, really busy, as you guys can tell. So here's where the insane work. Into the insane work. This took a while as it is. Some of you may be like, oh, it doesn't look like that much, but like, guys, you gotta remember, it's middle of July. These weeds are already like almost fully matured, like up to here. It's 90 degrees. I'm having to wear long sleeves. You know, I was wearing long sleeves, pants, neck gaiter, because I couldn't get poison ivy because I'm like highly allergic. So again, it sucked because it was like 90 degrees when we were out there having to do that. But hey, the work paid off. Walking down this way.
Now they get to see.
Here is the mud pit, guys. So like, I'm excited to show all this. You guys can see we cut down so much. The mud pit has never looked this clear that I can ever remember. The only time it has looked remotely, and I mean remotely like this, was back in 2020 when I first ever discovered it. So coming down here, guys, we are officially into the mud pit. It is very, very, very soupy. Right here, we have a hill climb going up. We actually cut down this hill climb, and it's actually extremely steep. So I can't wait to see how the RC cars perform on it. It looks like either water or there was a deer trail going through here, and it caused it to be really uneven. And this is gonna be insane, this hill. This is gonna be probably one of my favorite hills. I got curves a little bit, makes it more difficult. They're not that tall, which kind of really sucks. But again, I can't choose how the land is, but these are really steep, and that's the nice thing to it. So walking down this way, we had a problem the last time we were up here working. We had a little bit of an issue. So me and Colton were clearing out this hill climb, right? I was weed whacking. I felt something hit my back. Like, oh, okay. Because like, you know, stuff flies up, you're used to debris flying up. And I'm like, okay. Next thing you know, it starts hurting more and more and more and more and more. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with my back? Like, we lift up my shirt, look at my back. I'm like, is there something? He's like, oh yeah, Colton's like, there's a mark. It looks like something like stung you. Or something bit you, that's what he said. I'm like, something did not bite me, Colton. I'm like, is there like something in my skin? Because that's how bad it hurt. I was like, is there like something is there something like, I thought I weed whacked like a jagger or something. It blew up and got stuck into my back. And he's like, no, there's nothing in it. I'm like, ouch, man. He's like, just stop touching it. I'm like, okay. So I start weed whacking down here again because it happened to me when I was at the top. So Colton wanted to go to the top of the hill. So Colton goes to the top of the hill and starts weed whacking. I'm at the bottom weed whacking. Next thing he's like, ouch. I'm like, bro, you good? He was like, ouch. And it stung him right up here. I'm like, you good? He was of course being so ridiculous about it. Then he got stung again. I'm like, yo. He's like, we're like standing on the hill. He like gets off the hill. I'm like, let me see your neck. He shows me his neck. It was a sting. It was like puffed up and whatnot. So then I felt my back again, and my back was puffed up like it was a sting. So there's wasps in the ground, and we were getting stung by them. So I really like this hill though. So like, we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with that. So this one's a mess, not even close to finished yet, but we have to figure out what we're gonna do because there's holes in the ground and there's like wasps in the ground.
I mean, you had a really dumb plan.
No, I had dumb plans. Anyhow, moving it forward.
Oh gosh, you gotta go through this.
So guys, here's the brush pile, one of many brush piles from logs we cleared out. Walking forward, I'm trying to take Max through the least stinkiest part. It's all extremely muddy right now. This is why we call it the mud pit, guys. It's just straight mud.
Yep, it's called it for a reason.
This actually fills up and creates a swamp when it rains. So this will be like another mud box. I thought about this, guys. I might want to make a mud truck eventually out of the X-Max. So something like this would be very nice for it. So I'm still admiring it. Like, I've never seen it. I've never been able to stand right here and look over and see the mud pit hill like that cleared out and whatnot. Like, it's been so long since it has looked like this. I'm so happy. As you guys can see, right here was its own problem. After the microburst, this tree kind of pulled out of the ground, caused this tree to go out, and it was an entire tree we had to cut in pieces, and it extended all the way to the other side of the mud pit. We need to cut it all out. I mean, you guys can look at the ground here. All these white spots, that's all wood chips from cutting stuff. So over here you can see this was a pain in the neck to cut through. You can see all the wood chips. I mean, this thing was a mess to cut through. I mean, it's still a healthy tree, but again, it was falling over. It was pressed up against that side. So here is where I took my bike on a hill climb way back in 2021. It was right here. I remember this used to all be brush. Now we have a trail going. It's just awesome. It smells back here too. It smells real bad because it's obviously a mud pit. So walking over here, this is another access point. This was actually from the deer. This is actually probably one of the better access points. Just film that. I mean, we have a brush pile off to the left side over there. I mean, we cleared so much out, and you can see here, if you come over here, Max, tree cut, tree cut, tree cut, tree cut, tree cut. I mean, tree cut, tree cut, tree cut, tree cut. There was a huge tree actually extending from here. There's a huge tree about this big, and remember, this was all cut out with a pole saw, okay? I just want to specify it once again. This extended out all the way over to here and came to here and was cutting off one of my favorite hill climbs. So we had to chop that in pieces and throw it in our other brush pile we have right here, Max. That brush pile.
Yeah, it's pretty full right now.
That one's insane. I told them. They kept trying to throw stuff in it because they didn't want to walk through the mud to throw it in the other pile. I told them, I'm like, we're done. This is too big. Look at this. Look at this.
Looks fine to me.
This is too big.
Looks fine to me.
You know, honestly, no, it is fine right now. It's fine. But you guys need to stop throwing crap in it. And like, look, this was their job. I cut while they cleaned up. And they still couldn't clean up after themselves. The entire time, I would have to stop cutting and clean up after them. And they laughed. They thought this crap was funny.
Listen, there's still space here. Look.
They can see.
Look. There's still space on there.
Yeah, that means let's just jam it even more.
Yeah.
And what they don't understand is I already told them. I said, you guys, because it was so freaking funny. Like, we were all just, busting each other's balls. I said to them, when it storms, I hope this whole freaking pile gives out into my trail. And I'm going to tell them, you guys can go down there and clean it up because this isn't my mess. Because I told them, walk through the freaking mud and put it in that pile. And they still ignored me. And they're like, this is good enough. And like, look at that.
It works.
That's insane.
It works.
That's actually insane. I never sat there and looked at it. That fricker's huge. It works though. No, it works. Like, it's pretty compact. Like, I actually don't think it's gonna give out because we got logs up front. Like, it was all structural integrity. Again, another tree. And I want to specify the reason why we're cutting out all these trees, guys. And again, we'll clean this up. The reason why we were cutting out all these trees was because we were trying to, when Max films, and we were also trying to make more space for the RC cars to go around. When Max films, we don't want trees being in the way for him to constantly weave in and out of trees to get the hill climb, Because then he's just gonna get in the way of the RC car. So again, more stuff's gonna need cleared out there. Stuff got cut here. This hill climb got cleared out. I mean, this log actually, there's a story. And again, all this, again, pole saw. How about the pole saw? All this is pole saw. Logs here, guys. I mean, there's logs down here. We figured we need to think ahead. We're trying not to throw brush where we would have stuff in the future. To where this pile right here, we knew that we wouldn't have anything there in the future. So we were just throw it there. This log, there's a story behind it. This got on the first time I did this hill climb with the Typhon. Such a good memory. This log I moved. Now this is probably a 250, 300 pound log, okay? Probably something like this. And we took it, and then remember guys, this was all brush. I'll try to, if I have any old photos, I'll show old photos and whatnot, old video footage. But this was on the hill. And again, here's another thing they just didn't clean up. I just have to point that out. Another thing that they just didn't clean up. They literally what they did was they did a little bit of work. Every time I would pole saw, they had nothing done. So I would literally have to go pick up all the brush. But at least they did some stuff. And then they were just laughing the entire time.
It's a good strategy. Act like we're doing work until you realize we did nothing, and then you do it for us.
Well, it freaking works. So you guys are clearly smart. I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
See?
it worked.
10,000 IQ.
It worked. So you guys are smart, clearly. Well, because I needed it done. So you guys were just like, oh, well, it's gonna get done either way. So that's what you guys are like. Why do the work?
Yeah, we did a little.
I won't dispute that. I mean, you guys at least showed up. Just kidding. No, so anyhow, so this log was on this hill, right? And we had to move it off the hill to do the hill climb. So what we did was I picked it up and shoved it down this hill. So it fell here. And remember, guys, this was all brush. So we were like, we're never going to touch this spot again. We're never going to touch it.
But now
we have to go move it because I cleared out this hill climb. Because originally how it came was I would be here and hit it at an angle. This hill is so freaking steep. We couldn't stand up to weed whacker. I had to sit at the top of the hill and have the weed whacker down like that. So this is so steep. And here's another thing. This is in the ground, but they could have at least, sniffed it, but they didn't do that either. So what do you expect? Anyhow, this was thrown down. I do appreciate their help, though. I do appreciate Max and Colton's help. I really do. Right here, this is a hill climb. We're actually going to be able to hit it like straight on. So we're going to be able to start here and just go straight up and go. I mean, this one is super steep. I'm worried about those trees at the top, though, because I don't want the RC car ramming into that. My biggest pet peeve. There was a tree here, okay? This was a son of a gun to cut, okay? It was really, really, really strong. But anyhow, I always rammed my RC car into this tree, and finally, it's out. It's gone. Thank God.
But now the stump's still there.
Stump's still there, but a tire could ride over that. We'll see. We'll see what we decide to do. This, again, another thing, again, not everything's finished. This is going to get cleared out. So we're going to have this entire hill cleared because it's a steep hill. We're going to have the entire thing cleared out and whatnot. These bushes cleared out. I came in with the pull saw and they just decided not to pick up, but whatever. It is what it is. So another thing, guys, look, cut. He's like laughing. Max is laughing about this. So another thing, cut. These were logs that Max was supposed to pick up, but he didn't want to carry them over there, so he just tossed them off to the side. So even though I specified, I said, I don't want this to turn to a logging trail in case we widen this out. And Max just I look back, Max throw it. I'm like, hey, at least they're out of the way. I mean, we're not really gonna do anything over there. And look at the tree, again, from the microburst, another tree that fell. Coming over here, this is a funny story behind this thing too. So I remember back in late January, there was this log that was cut. And it wasn't by us, by my neighbor. It was up on top of the hill. It was for the quad trail, right? So I picked it up as a joke and chucked it down this hill into all the brush, thinking, we're never gonna see the day where we gotta fuss with it. Next thing you know, it's down there, so I haven't even fussed with it. It's like a memorial. I mean, it's easy to move, obviously. But I picked it up and chucked it down the hill, and yeah. So here's another log that we're having problems with. I mean, yeah, that one's been a pain. There's a long story behind it. This is another big one I had to cut out, guys. So these two are the only ones that are really in our way right now. Again, here's another piece of brush they're supposed to pick up, but didn't.
Whatever, it's out of the way. Now
it is. That was their logic the entire time. Again, another piece of wood that I cut out, but Max is supposed to be helping me. Another piece of wood that I cut out that he just didn't grab, so. Again, he thinks this is funny. We're supposed to be showing this off for a YouTube video, and he's just he's like, we're cutting through, there's trees everywhere. And he says to me man, I'll tell you what, pretty much at this point, it's mainly the rocks in the way, not the trees. That's what he literally said. He's like, it's mainly the rocks.
It's the truth.
At this point in time, I'm thinking the rocks are in the way. My tires will just go right over that. So here's the dream hill spot, guys. Again, tree cut out, 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 tree cut out. Tree cut out over there. Just so much. This spot took forever. We were just dropping stuff. There's the dream hill, guys. It's so tall, it's so steep. It's gonna need the top right hand side. I still need to widen out a little bit, but again, pending projects. I mean, this was another tree cut out. There was this log going across here. Now, if you remember, guys, this used to all be brush, okay? And there was a log right here, so I could only get a little startup on the dream hill. Now, I can start up all the way back here if I want to. The problem is that it cliffs off at the beginning right here. Ow! Jaggerbush. Man. You know what's funny? I feel like everyone has their own name for jaggerbushes. I didn't realize people don't call it jaggerbushes. Not everybody calls it jaggerbushes. I've heard poker bushes, sticker bushes, jagger bushes, thorn bushes. Everyone has their own name. So whatever you want to call poker, sticker, play a game of poker,
lose some money.
Yeah. Anyhow, so down this way. Again, the reason why this was all cut out is so that Max could, and eventually the stumps will go down, another tree cut out. Eventually stumps will go down, another tree cut out. Watch the stumps, Max. I've almost tripped. Max can stand back here and be out of my way and film the RC car going up the Dream Hill. So he'll be out of my way. That's the whole thing. Because if we had all these trees right here, guys, Max would be like, because there's going to be a lot of blind spots if there's trees. Now, a lot of these trees we cut down, guys, we couldn't put them in the brush pile. So what we did was since they were so big, was we made them fall. So these big ones that we cut here, right? We made them fall that direction, okay? So they already fell into a brush pile we had going. And then we just came through and cut off the ends of them and tossed it back up in.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll clean this up. Yeah. So 100 IQ there. Again, this was kind of a brush pile just piled up over there. This side here we have stuff piled up. Again, more piled up over there. Right here was the main brush pile, but again, you really couldn't keep it to that. So, boom. That's another big brush pile. This one's mainly like logs and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot in there. I mean, these are big. You put this all together, I mean, you have a massive bonfire. But we were like, look, this is the woods. Toss it up in the sides. We're good. I mean, look how cleared out this is. It's insane. I've always wanted to do something like this. And the nice thing about the Dream Hill spot is that this will fill up as a nice little mud bog, this low spot here. And this will all stay cleared out. And again, could probably come through, clean up with the weed whacker. Again, this has grown up just a tad bit. But overall, I'm extremely happy with it. Again, here, pending stuff. We got to work on this. This is the hill that attaches to the trail. This is actually really steep. So we're going to have to work on, this was originally sitting, this entire tree, which is like rotted out, but we probably snapped that. It was sitting at the top of the hill, right at the top there. I tapped it with my foot and it goes rolling down the hill. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Whatever, it's gonna need to get cleared anyhow, but this is all jaggers. Poker, sticker, whatever you want to call it. Bush. Bush with pokey thingy coming out. All in here.
Spiky bushes.
Text message.
Oh, there's another hole over there.
So, sorry about that business stuff. Anyhow. Just kidding. So, whatever, jagger bushes. I call them jagger bushes. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. So, right here, jagger bushes. A lot of this needs cleared out. This hill needs cleared out just a little bit more. This will need cleared. I'm just so happy. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm so thankful that Max and Colton, they spent the time. Like, thank you, Max. Shout out to Colton. I appreciate that they actually took the time and they came up here and they helped me with all this crap. Because, like, honestly, without them, I would have had to cut, stop cutting just to throw stuff back up in there. This will need cleared out. The jagger bushes out need cleaned out. And then we'll have a nice hill climb going up here. And even just a quick walker up or down or whatever you want to call it. Then this will need cleaned out here. And honestly, I'm actually really happy with it. We're going to clean this out. Yeah, okay. Anyhow. So just like little stuff like this will need cleared out and whatnot. And we're going to make a trail. This would connect directly onto the trails that we have up there. So this will be a nice little hill that directly goes on. And it looks like, honestly, I'm suspecting with how that hole is. I've seen pictures of like coyote dens, bro. That only looks like it would be a little bit smaller than a coyote den. I mean, that hole is decent size. I've always made a joke because we've always looked at that hole since we came down here for the Dream Hill. We've always looked at that hole and I've always made the joke saying, oh, that's where the coyote lives. I don't know though. It would make sense if the coyote lived there. I don't know.
It probably does.
How big was it when you seen it? Max seen the coyote.
It was like the size of a dog.
Could it fit down? I don't know. You guys tell me. I mean, that's a perfectly round hole. I've seen coyotes dig holes before, and that's exactly what it looks like, bro.
Like a smaller one could probably fit in there.
It's smaller. I wouldn't be shocked. Anyhow, so these bushes will be cleared out. If you guys know what that hole's for, let us know down in the comment section below. I'm definitely not saying that, so you just help me out with the algorithm. No, I'm just kidding. I actually am curious. So if you do know what that hole is for, if you have any guesses, let me know. This crap, though, we'll need cleared out so we can go straight up through there and hopefully not get bit by a coyote. Yeah, overall.
Don't be scared of us. Not Colton, though.
Golf ball. I've been keeping that there as a memorial. This has actually been here for obviously quite some time. There's golf balls all back through here all the time. I don't know, they're just here. They just came from the sky. It does rain golf balls every once in a while, so yeah. But anyhow, guys, look at this.
Why is there so much?
Smirnoff, it's just disgusting. There's so much like alcoholic beverages and stuff back here. Like, people came back here and drank and stuff. Like, that's not cool. Whatever. I mean, if you're gonna come back here and drink and be like degenerate like that as it is, that's completely fine.
At least bring your crap back.
At least bring your crap back. Yeah, if you're gonna be like degenerate as it is, be degenerate. Go drink alcohol. I don't care. Not my problem. But when you're coming back here, throwing your trash back here, I mean, that's quite frankly ignorant, actually. Because I don't leave my crap. Look, crap that we had accidentally left. I picked it up.
Yep.
So anyhow, and again, I'm not like one of those people that like just scream at people, but like at the end of the day, it's like,
just
dude,
annoying.
No one likes it when you're throwing like your alcoholic beverages everywhere. So it makes you wonder, because I've actually spoke about it back to school. I'm like, it makes you wonder who was like down back here. Like, what did this used to be back in the day? Like, was there not? Because all these trees look newer because they're smaller, like stems coming up out of the ground. So
this place was probably more clear back in the day.
yeah, I don't know if it was or whatnot, but yeah, guys, overall, I'm just super happy with the progress. If we have any more progress updates, I'll let you know. I'll make another video. If you guys enjoy this, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'm so thankful that Max and Colton came back here and helped me, because it would suck if I was on my own on this. So thank you to you, Max. Thank you, Colton.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it, because it's like, if you guys weren't back here, I'd have to cut a few trees. It'd be a mess. I'd have to cut it up, throw it in the pile. But you guys really did help by moving stuff for me and helping out and whatnot. So I really do appreciate it. It cut down the work a little bit, even though, if you want to say, we were kind of understaffed in a way for the amount of work that we did, bro.
Yeah.
Like, there should have been more people back here. But, you know, it's got to get done. It's got to get done, you know? And that's the thing. We now have, because the reason why